if more important things are attended, some less important things will have to be sacrificed. But they are not sacrificed. That again is the beauty of this community. The fact is that, for instance, in Rabwa, those who are wealthy and well-to-do people, who can look after themselves, neither they need the community's help nor the community wants to offer them any help. It's an understood thing that they can look after themselves. But for those who are poor, for those who come from somewhere else, foreign Ahmadis, etc., the entire organization is run by the community. Only where they have to pay something, they just dip their hand in their pocket and give that money, and that's all. And even there, I know quite a lot of help comes from every direction. Here they offer the hall, the Ahmadi workers, if the services are required, offer their services, and in a very beautiful, peaceful atmosphere. Everything is done in ideal atmosphere, I suppose. I have attended 1 or 2 marriages. I was very happy with this. Apart from that, if somebody wants any help, still the doors are open. It is not that the community had decided not to give help beyond that. I know certain marriages have been ceremonized entirely at the community's expense. When some people like to be, for instance, that they stand in need of such and such thing, and the girl is, they are so poor that the girl cannot leave. There is not the minimum necessary arrangement available for them. So, because every girl is Ahmadi's girl, Ahmadi's daughter, so we never abandon such people. So you are totally misinformed in this respect, unfortunately. Whatever the problems you face, if the local imam does not solve them, and they deserve to be solved, despite all this which I have told you, the heavy engagements and everything, they will be better attended than in any other community in the world. This I assure you. Try your hand.
The idea was for a definite program or definite structure of social services of Jamaat has.
Well, Khudawan and the Ansarullah, all they are ready to serve their brethren in need, and they do. The great calamity that has befallen in Pakistan, the whole community is involved, deeply involved in sacrifices for their brothers, for their health. No single man is left unattended in Pakistan. Even in the reports where you send, there was just one man. Ahmadis approached them from Karachi and told them they could say, if you are in any problem, any difficulty, we have come to help you and solve you. And there are so many instances where they really stood in need and the need was provided. So what else can one expect? After all, the community is human. It is extended to the very limits, human limits, in expectations, and it is doing all it can do. So that was not a question anyway, that was a statement. Now the second part I think is a question, please. You said 2 or 3.
Yes.
And the first was a statement. You were not sure whether it was a statement or a question. But it was a statement, a misstatement rather. And now come with the question. Now on to the
I have a Shia friend, sir. I have a Shia friend, yes. He belongs to Shia community. I've been trying to call him here, and he refuses to come. Anyway, and we have been always in discussions. And he has always been impressing upon me that Imamat and Nabuwwat are 2 different items. And to him, Imamat is superior to Nabuwwat. Because Nabuwwat is a gift of God. Whereas Imamat you inherit. It comes in inheritance, you see. So to him it is superior. Because Nabuwwat can be earned or can be attained or can be gained.
When you say gift, it cannot be earned.
Yes.
No Shia believes that this is kasabi.
Exactly.
According to terminology, there are two types of awards. Some are kasabi, some are waqfi. And all the Muslim scholars of all the sects are united in this, that Nabuwwat is not Kasbi, it is Waqfi. So Malik Sahib, do you know of any other sect who says it is Kasbi? Waqfi. See, here's the final word on this, Malik Sahib. वो मुझे पता है, वो मैं डिनाई नहीं कर रहा, I know that fact. Kasbi और Waqfi का जहाँ तक ताल्लुक है, this is totally wrong. That man is misinformed on his own religion. They never say, not a single Shia scholar today, even today, can claim that Nabuwwat is Kasbi. Now why they say it is superior is that in the Holy Quran they find that Allah Ta'ala, when addressed Hazrat Ibrahim and said, Inni क्या है वो आयत exactly? लिन्नास इमामा? इन्नी जायलो का लिन्नास इमामा, यही है? That I am going to make you imam for the whole people or for some people. Now they infer that because according to them this verse was revealed, this verse applies to a period when Hazrat Ibrahim ﷺ was already a prophet. And because he was already a prophet, when he was promised a superior office, he couldn't have been promised an inferior office after that. So because during his prophethood he is promised that I am going to make you this as a reward, it obviously means that whatever Allah wants to give him is a superior office to the one he is already holding. This is their argument. They say, for instance, if somebody is deputy commissioner, no sane government, when the government is happy with that deputy commissioner, can promise him to make him a tehsildar or sub-tehsildar, because that is a junior office. But when the governments are happy with the deputy commissioners, they promise that they would make such and such deputy commissioner a commissioner, for instance, or a secretary in the government. So this is the line of argument they offer, and they believe that Hazrat Ibrahim was one prophet who was imam, the rest of the prophets were not imam. Number one. Number two, the second part of this verse relates to his praying to Allah that also gave the same to those who come who follow me of my progeny, the future generations he meant. And Allah said that I will fulfill that promise only in favor of those who are righteous and not in favor of those who do unjust things. Now, from that they infer that this has become a virasat, a commodity of inheritance. It continues in the progeny like ordinary material property. These are the two inferences. Now, the very first is proved to be totally wrong by the Holy Quran, because all the prophets are called Aimma by the Holy Quran, and not only in one place, in many places. The Holy Quran mentions prophets counting from Hazrat Nuh down to Hazrat Ibrahim and others, and after giving the names of certain prophets and saying that there are others as well, then Allah says, وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا. We made all of these prophets A'immatan. A'imma is the plural of Imam. And not only that, it says Yahduna bi amrina. They are not guides